and welcome back to MTH1W. Today we are discussing measurement calculations in 3D. Ta-da! Okay, let's get started. Okay, so lastly we have 1 over 5 and negative 5. So 1 over 5, when we flip 1 over 5, it becomes 5 over 1, and then we stick that negative sign in front. We know that negative 5 over 1 just gives us Pythagorean theorem. So Pythagorean theorem is something that you will probably remember even if you don't take math for probably the rest of your life. Worry about the big word of Pythagorean theorem. Let's bring it back a step to talk about a right angle triangle. So a right angle triangle is a triangle with a right angle. So a right angle is a 90-degree angle that is opposite of the hypotenuse. So once again, we can see we just have to be comfortable with rearranging our formula. So that's all that I have for the examples for Pythagorean theorem, but you have a whole worksheet of practice problems that I recommend you do. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I will see you next time. Bye.
I'd ask you right now to just take a moment and think about how you would feel if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't know where you were. The novel we're going to be reading is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. This is a really exciting novel. It's a novel that I hope inspires you to think a little bit differently about things and question things. And that's part of analyzing a novel. It's really important that when we understand when we're reading a novel as a literary piece, which is what we do in an academic English course, is we're not just reading it for fun. We're reading it to look at what it means, look at what the author's audience was, look at what the author's purpose was, the author's style of writing. We're looking at themes, we're looking at symbols, and we're seeing how they all play together to make a novel something that is successful. Archetypes are used in literature because they appeal to us, because they use human traits. It's not like a supernatural kind of being. It's a human who generally, or has human characteristics that beats the bad guy. They're always on the good side. They're always on the side of justice, and they always manage to conquer evil. So this is one of those things and situations where we take a look at those situations and we go, okay, is he fitting into that hero role? How does he fit into that hero role? You know, a lot of times, most of the time, it refers to a character. It can also be a symbol. It can be a theme within a story. But 99% of the time, the hero is going to be a particular character. So before you come to next class, I'd like you to read chapters 3 to 5. And remember to take notes, remember to track what you're doing, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.
Welcome back to MDM4U. Today we're going to be going over the example given by GeoGebra, the link that's provided in Unit 1.6. What is this one? The probability that A occurs, A is shaded, and not B is shaded. So not B occurring, but A occurs. We can't get out of here. If we hit plus right now, it goes into the least. Well, we should know what that one is going to be, but let's discuss it. This is A and B occurring at the same time. A and B occurring. So I challenge you to try to find these probabilities. Submit your work in the discussion forum, and we can discuss how to calculate these and your work. Thank you for joining me. Any questions, please feel free to ask. Have a good day.
In the beginning, there was art. Paleolithic era. The Paleolithic era, aka the Old Stone era, was from 30,000 BC until about 100,000 BC. The oldest forms of art are not cave paintings, but infographics often have a wide amount of information, but told in a very visually appealing way and in a very easy to understand way. So often infographics are used for brochures or posters where you only have a few minutes to look at something. So for this infographic, we have this large title in the middle. Here's another infographic, the Western Art History Timeline. So this is an interesting infographic. So now we're going to go over surrealist painting and some techniques and just important things you can keep in mind. So remember that surrealism is quite a silly, I mean, you could think of it as a silly art movement in terms of its subject matter. There was actually some really important social commentary, but the art movement as a whole is very dreamlike and nightmare-like at times. And now I'm gonna let it dry again for a little bit, and then I will come back and paint in the final detail of the foreground.
Welcome back to ENG 3U. Today we're looking at descriptive poetry. Let's give an example. So this is a descriptive poem that we would say describes an experience. The experience of trying the same thing again and again and making the same mistakes over and over until finally learning from your mistakes. So that is an experience that most of us will share. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. Poem. The beginning subject, I should say. Line 2, there's 2 adjectives that describe the subject in line 1. So a flower is beautiful and brilliant. So there you can practice your adjectives and picking good and powerful adjectives. Blooming, smelling, waving. 2 more adjectives, so it's a reverse of line 2. Colorful, lovely. And then finally, blossom, your ending subject. So next time, I'm excited to say that we're going to be focusing on symbolism and metaphor, which is extremely important. Okay, so I'll see you all next time when we talk about symbolism and metaphor. Bye.
Also remember to always read your rubrics before you do any assignment. We're always here to help you and give you advice and information. You can always submit drafts that we can help you with, but always remember to read your rubric, because you know this is how you're going to be scored and judged. You're going to find any speech you'd like in video format and try to find all the rhetorical devices that you can within the speech. You're going to send us the link to the speech so we could also view it and make sure you've correctly found all the rhetorical devices and help you find the ones that maybe you didn't spot out. This is going to be a very fun exercise, a very fun assignment, and it's going to help you a lot. Not only start to notice rhetorical devices, but see how you can incorporate them in your public speaking, also known as glossophobia, which we're going to get into in a little bit. 74% of people suffer from speech anxiety. So trust me, this is very common, and don't feel alone if you feel a little anxious or you suffer from anxiety or have a little bit of fear when it comes to public speaking. This is very common. You're not alone with this, and we're going to go over some tips and tools that can help you with this fear if it should arise. That concludes our tips. So at the end of this video, we just want to let you know that you're going to be nervous at times. Everybody deals with this. Everybody feels nervous, but we're going to work on it together. We're going to share tips and tools that we have for you, and we're going to practice, practice, practice. And just like anything, the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So we look forward to continuing on. And remember, don't worry about fear of public speaking. It's very common, and we have the tools to help you. So I hope you have a good day.
Hello, and welcome back to Vectors. Today we're working on Unit 6.2, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. So here's a review of all of the plane intersections. It's a lot to take in, but you can figure out this whole chart on your own as well, just with information you know about how normals interact with each other. So let's look at another example here. We want to find the scalar equation of a plane with normal vector 3, -2, 6, and containing this point. So think about the scalar equation of a plane, or the standard equation of a plane. ax plus by plus cz over xa. And that is also equal to y minus y naught over ya. So you might see this as the symmetric form of an equation. So I hope you enjoyed this calculus and vectors class as much as I did. I really appreciate you taking the time to spend with me, and I hope you had a fun time. I'm looking forward to seeing you in another class. Have a great day.
Trying new things, you have to think outside of the box, right? And that's not going to necessarily just be taught to you, because sometimes you just have to bring something that's already inside of you that you already knew all along and that nobody can actually teach you, because it's part of you and you're all unique in your own way. You have your own thoughts, your own ideas, you know, and maybe you can think of something and invent something that nobody else has, right? We're trying to tap into your intuitive power. That's what we mean. It is very difficult, but it is attainable, and you can definitely do it with practice and mindfulness and research and educating yourself.
So we have acronyms to help you remember the difference between revise, which is arms, ARMS, and edit, which is cups. CUPS. You want to just get it out. Get out your ideas, get out the sentences, get out the writing. It doesn't have to make sense or flow. This is just a simple process of, without judging yourself, without overthinking and distraction. And I'm telling you, it does make a difference when you just don't really pay attention to it. And regardless, you're going to have to go back, revise, and edit and proofread anyways. So you may as well just get as much out as you can without really overthinking it. Just to get that information.
Okay, 2 pages double spaced, pretty easy, and then just submit it when you're done. And really, folks, like, dig into your intuitive creativeness, have fun with this. These are your creative, unique juices coming out, and I really want to know, like, what you think. What are some of your ideas? Again, there's no wrong. Think outside of the box.
Let's get straight into it. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. You may be wondering, why does this law exist? How do we know that this law is true? Well, we're going to prove it. Right? We're trying to get the x, so we want the x's together. So let's put all the x's on one side of the equation. Okay, so now we've got x's grouped together, but this guy is different from this guy. So what can we do? Well, we can factor an x out. That way we have x isolated by itself. So we get 2 log 4 minus log 3. But if it doesn't specify, then you can substitute this into your calculator and round it off. Okay, try that and see what you get. What you'll be doing with proving the actual power law is you'll be using the actual power law, and you'll be practicing some prerequisite skills as well. You'll be practicing changing from log to exponential form, and then using the power law, and then just simple substitution. Try that on your own before you move to the next law. So you've learned about changing bases. You've learned about solving exponential equations by changing their base, right? So do even the practice questions on your worksheet. Practice, practice, practice. And I will see you in the next lesson. Now we're going to use all these skills that we've learned, the transformations of exponentials and log functions, solving log functions and solving exponential equations, I should say. We're going to try to put all these skills together now to apply in real world questions containing logarithmic functions. So I'll see you in the next lesson when we do that.